では休憩でしたが続いてまいりたいと思います。So maybe from your earlier works in 90s, we could probably move on to 2000 onwards. Particularly, one of the shifts that we can observe in your practice is the use of light. And we mentioned a little bit about form making and not making, and your earlier practice of seeing the 5 elements, 5 colors. But yeah, maybe you can start from the opportunities or occasion that you started to use light for the first time.
Actually, the first time I used from color to light as a painter was at the kitchen, the theater in New York, where I was invited to do a background stage work for the screen when George Carol Oates read her new novels. While she was reading her new novel, I was doing the lighting projection using the basic color spectrum, which is also, for Westerners, it's like rainbow colors. But for me, I was very focused on Ubangsek, which is a 5-directional color spectrum. That is not only just a color, but has a significant meaning in each direction, and also seasons, taste, or characteristics.
Body organs.
Yeah, all the bodily relationship. The white, black, red, blue, and red. So that was a much more important element than just the color. So having a chance to do stage work was great because I was examining the light. And that was the stage light I was using, and different kind of primary colors. And I thought maybe this can be also mobile, because stage color light you can only do in the stage, in the theater. But I thought, what about making it as a video? And travel with it and show anywhere in the world. So that was the moment I made To Breathe, looking into sewing into looking. Especially when I was invited to La Fenice Theater fire screen project in 2006. I decided to use that digital color spectrum onto the screen, and at the same time I was thinking, what is this particular theater about? And I thought, this lyric theater is very significant, but in a way singing is all about breathing, loud with emotion and meanings. So I decided to incorporate with my, 2 years earlier than that year, 2004's The Weaving Factory breathing performance piece that I did in Uch Biennale in a formal weaving factory. Because I entered the weaving factory, which is totally empty and silent, I immediately felt my bodily weaving. And I felt that my bodily breathing is, in a way, a weaving activity. So that's how I made that piece. and I also incorporated with the La Fenice Theater. So that's how I did the first lighting to light it, a kind of a video lighting. But then I was doing the diffraction grating film that diffracts the iridescent light into the space using the whole architectural space and putting the glass windows with the diffraction film that consists of thousands of vertical and horizontal scratches in it in 1 centimeter. So it's almost nanoscale. And that is functioning as a prism that diffracts natural light into the space as a iridescent light and transmitted and also reflected, because I installed the mirror all over the Crystal Palace, and also incorporated also with excuse me, with my breathing sound, the weaving factory in it, so that all the mirror looking action as another sewing action, and self and the other, and reality and virtuality, but also the surface of the glass windows as another boundary and border and skin of the architecture that is enwrapped in a way, as I consider that film as a fabric also. And then my weaving weaving action in a way by breathing in and out, because when you breathe in and out, there's a moment of surface that divides and defines the life and death. When you breathe in and stop it, it's death. And when you breathe out and stop it, and it's also death. So unless we are constantly breathing in and out, like a needling, it means death. So for me, it was all incorporated with the notion of sewing within that space, whole space, and also by wrapping the whole architecture with this kind of fabric of iridescent film that was almost like a architectural bodhidharma for me. So that was the important moment for me. My bodhidharma piece has been also incorporated with architectural site specificity. Yeah.
So it seems to be a big shift, but you also continued with the bodhidharma work, or so you're doing parallelly with this physical work and then also this light work.
Immaterial kind of experiments, and physicality has been always continuing parallelly because it gives different questions along the way, depending on the social changes, also my own personal condition and relationships and so on, and also related to the sites. So it's been parallelly questioning and developing.
I think by the time you started to use this film to make this light installation, throughout 90s and a little bit of 2000, you had been showing in a number of different places on this planet. And I'm just wondering how your earlier Koreanness had grown to different platforms.
Well, in the earlier period of my career, people even didn't know where Korea is, right? And now it changes so much, and everyone recognizes Korean and Korean culture and Koreanness, and also much more welcomed than before. And we have also developed so much art and culture and its society. So I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, there was a long period of time that I've been also suffering, and finally we reached to the point which is a great achievement. But Koreanness itself is not my subject matter. I was always fundamentally questioning as an existence, as a human being first, rather than any nationality or Asian or women or any title or wife or mother or daughter, but as a pure human being. But we all have to leave that role in our lives. So, I mean, I think I am also working as a Korean artist from time to time to different contexts, and I'm glad I could, to some degree, also contribute as an artist. If there is a context that can be addressed as a Korean artist, I would gladly to do that role, actually, at this point.
I think now many of the biennales and triennales are really looking at the identities. Particularly, it's very important time that finally all these women, non-binary and non-Western artists are on the all same platform. So I do agree that it's important time, but I do agree with you that it should not be really about identity. And but I realize that from your earlier work of this Botali, you gave the title "Deductive Object." That already shows your intention of making it not as representative of Koreanness or any sort of identity, but more about the humanity or like holistic value.
And also because it was my reality. I cannot use someone else's story, someone else's life material, but because it was my own personal reality, that I had to use it, and in a way also using others' perspective or place as an other's place. I've been always commenting others for myself. So that has been always related to this series of butaris and colorfulness and its bed cover or related to that. But now I'm also reached to the point that I am also more conscious of my own self and my own identity and my own need and preference. So recently I also did a series of black paintings, which is more about myself. Yeah.
I think maybe I just wanted to stop the slides. Oops, it just gone. I don't know how to do backwards. But it will come. But the idea of the black painting, but also you were using already in Reina Sofia Crystal Palace title, A Mirror Woman, and mirror that you just used in the recent Pinot collection, magnificent installation. The mirror is also to look at yourself.
Yes, a mirror is also a certain kind of plateau of a consciousness, and also self-reflectiveness, and also towards the other. And I think a mirror is also very much related to needle, because needle is in a way very ambiguous object. It can be healed. It can also attack someone. It can also heal something by having this needle hole, the void in it. But also it's it has a dual gender issue, I think, in a way, hermaphrodite in a way. And also, I consider mirror in that sense a little bit like an unfolded needle that has that kind of components in mirror characteristics. And mirror is interesting because it's the only object that reflects elsewhere but self. I think it's very mysterious to think about it because it can show anything else but self. It cannot show itself. And also needle is something that passed through the two separate parts to connect them together. But at the end, it leaves the sides. It doesn't exist there anymore, just leaving the traces by threads, by combining those two together. So those two objects is a fundamental question for me as a material and as an object or as a metaphor. Yeah. So by placing the mirror, I think I don't have to do anything else or present any objects, because mirror invites all the things in the world by just being there. So, for example, like although I did the first time using mirror at the Venice Biennale in 1999, placing the whole wall with the mirror at the end of the corridore at the Arsenale.
I still remember that.
You remember?
Yes.
And placing the Botari truck in front of it as an exit, in a way, virtual exit, but at the same time to wrap the whole space behind. And it was the moment of Kosovo War, so that piece was also dedicated to the Kosovo refugees with the Botari truck. It was Harold Zeman's Biennale, right? And the second one was the mirror floor on the Crystal Palace, this way, the horizontal mirror. But then this time, I did also at the Venice Biennale Korean Pavilion, but this time in a circular rotunda space in Bruce de Gomel's Pinot collection in Paris, which was renovated by Dadao Ando's beautiful kind of cylinder space, almost similar kind of structure, but closed. So it was very interesting to see the reaction of the people, because this time particularly the performative element has been really emphasized. Because whenever I place the mirror within a space, I always consider the audiences as my performers, as my secretive performers, because I never announce them as a performers, but I always observe them as a performers. And this time, people were really actively performing and examining their body and their bodily expressions, even dancing and laying down, sitting, and they were, staying there really long time, spending there together and so on. So it became like a park, public park in a way. It was another kind of a quite extensive performative kind of plateau this time. But I also realized that you might have seen some of my recent Botari, deductive object Botari, which is the Botari moonjar shape ceramic pieces I've done recently. First at the Sèvres manufacturer in Paris, and also the poking the needle holes onto the plates on the terracotta, and also the series of porcelain deductive object Botari pieces, and poking, sewing into soil, sewing into soil piece. That piece has been also done in Meissen manufacture. So those were installed together as a kind of constellation of this surrounded mirror center, which is more or less the immaterial kind of vessel of architecture contained with a void. The upper part of the dome, and the part below your feet, another reflected dome. And I installed also 24 pieces all around that could connect with this idea of Botari immateriality and sphere and kind of cosmic elements and bodily relationship all around the mirror, like 24 vitrine pieces. And among them, those Botari moonjar piece was installed. And that was the first time that I realized also the mirror I installed is as same as two pots putting together, like two, in a way the moonjar is always put two, in a way, dome-like vessel together to make one, right? I felt it's exactly the same system. So it was another discovery that I found this time, that
it's like a doubling the space.
Yes, it's like a placing mirror was exactly creating that middle ground of void that we have to do in making Botari moonjar. And I was still, I'm still questioning, what is that edge? Edge around. I hope I can get an answer to that at some point. And that was very interesting, how these totally different starting point and material and making process comes together in one as a concept. So
I think it's interesting that you talked about moonja. It's a very famous Korean moon-shaped ceramics, then it is really like creating a void inside.
Yeah, exactly.
So by using a mirror and doubling the space so that you create the void, and according to John Cage, the void is not nothing. It's there is something
Filled with the,
filled with something.
Yeah.
And it's invisible energy or invisible presence of some sort. But I think your consciousness is expanded to much larger cosmic realm. And looking at your cosmic egg sculptures, and then also your use of soil or clay. And I still...
archive of mind
Yes.
pieces.
Maybe you can talk about that archival mind piece.
Yeah. The archive mind piece was maybe the first piece that resulted the Bodhari Munjar in a way, because that was the moment that I really touched the soil in my hands and felt it, and also wanted to explore and convey with that. But it was interestingly with an invitation by Yoko Ono. Interestingly, because I'm not sure if it was directly from her, but when she was doing a retrospective at Lyon d'Art Contemporain, Thierry Raspail, the director, asked me to contribute a piece for the water project, the container project. She was asking around the artists to make a container of the water. That was the moment. Actually, by chance, I bought some clays and I was just touching it and playing with that. And thinking of the water container, I didn't want to do anything obvious as a container. And this is exactly the one I sent to Yoko Ono's show as a container of the water while it was still wet.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah,
the soil contained the water.
Yeah, already contained the water, so that we don't have to make container. As it is, it's already there. So that's what just tiny little, clay ball sphere shape I sent.
But it's like a globe.
Yeah,
The globe that we live.
Yes, exactly.
It's a lot of water container.
Yes. It was also like a globe, our own body, our own soil, and so on. So that was an interesting starting point. And then it was when I was in New York and having a studio in Long Island City, and I played with my assistants. Shall we try to do it together? And I noticed that they were so interested in, and once they touched the soil, they wouldn't leave it alone. And they were just fascinated by rolling the clay balls. So looking at them, I thought, wow, this is not something I should just enjoy myself and do myself, but share with other people. So that's how we started
I see.
to expand the scale, and also by designing, Jeho designed the elliptical table consisting with 63 different shapes of small tables. So many people participated in this.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it was like another cosmic scene in a way. And I also performed with the dried clay balls rolling on the wooden panel that creates like a almost like thunderstorm shape sound. And then I also did perform my own gurgling water in my throat, so that while this was like a horizontal way of in a way unfolding the dimension of the sphere. My voice, my gurgling, standing, was in a way gurgling and rolling the like a airy water ball in my throat. So that had a certain kind of a grrr, like sound, and I combined those two sounds together underneath the table.
I see.
And so after all, it creates another layer of tableau in a way, but also it creates a certain kind of a universe in itself. Yeah. So.
But I couldn't see actual work, but I also know that you made a light piece on desert in Saudi Arabia. That was also, I thought, something amazing to really touch the light sculpture, the structure, being really part of this Mother Earth. What was your experience on desert?
There was such a special sight, amazing to be there in Alula. I never seen that kind of scene in my life, and I was so inspired. And also thinking of deep time, it was under the sea level. But then it was exposed and became the desert area. So thinking and imagining that far away, time, deep time, how the humanity existed since then, it was really inspiring to think about it. And also the rocks, the planet, become the pebbles and sands and dusts and air. And all these transformation I was thinking, and also the immateriality that transcend. So that was one reason that I wanted to do with the lights rather than any materialistic form of sculpture. So because it has always a strong light all the time, it was
also
perfect.
very direct sun
yeah.
to the soil.
Yeah, so it was an amazing experience, and it worked so well over the time, and also the time of the day when we move around and so on. So it was really another unique experience. Yeah.
Is this already in desert?
No, this was in Mexico, near Oaxaca area, and Axel Vervold Gallery collaborated with another New York gallery, Paul Casmin, to create this Meridiano space. And I was opening the space, and I was so touched by the beauty and simplicity of the space. So I didn't want to put anything in it, but celebrate the space first. So without having any audiences before the opening, I wanted to place myself that, in a way, define the geometry of the light into the
beautiful
space.
Shadow and light.
All day long, it creates different shape of the lights and space. It was so beautiful. And then, in the end, I decided to do one ceremonial performance of firing. With the audiences, and smelling it and watching it until it, distinguish it. And then I only placed one local rock painted in black, and in the center of the space. There was it.
So beautiful.
Thank you. Another thing really I want to mention was the Wanas Kunst, the planting project I did during COVID. So that was the flaxseed planting project, almost 1 acre. I just saw the image. I think you saw the image of the plants and also flower field and so on. And this is also the result of the linen fiber that makes the canvas linen fabric. So first time I made the linen canvas as it is, and also linen butari together, so that we actually grow half of the linen fibers area, and half was the flaxseed oil, that is linseed oil, which is both the material of the Western oil paint. So this is kind of returning my cyclical project, that I go back to my origin as a painter to really return, but in a long circle back.
Yeah. It seems to be that everything is really coming together, and all of your Obansek color is kind of reduced into black and white, but white contains everything, and also black also contains everything. So, and then also
white in a way like reflects everything, and black absorbs everything.
Absorb
right?
everything.
Yeah.
So
actually, that's interesting. Thank you.
So yeah, I think how you had developed a different paths and parallelly continue producing the work, not producing but producing, and also related to given space and given site. And we have 8 more minutes, so I want to slowly closing this discussion. But thinking that the time that we live is so complicated. What is happening on this planet is full of problems and unsolved questions, which has been always like that probably. But then, yeah, I think I had to question always, how are we contributing as an art practitioner to the status quo of the world? And one way is to really see everything from holistic cosmic view. So I immediately feel the empathy and echo what you do. But I'm just wondering how you see the world right now, and what you had been doing and what art still could do for humanity.
Well, I think I've been always commenting when any disaster or war or kind of destruction happening in this world. And I was also very much exposed to that because I was also in New York and I was in the World Trade Center when 30 minutes before, when the first World Trade Center was bombed. And the second World Trade Center bombed. I was watching the TV as I woke up on the TV. And we had to leave that moment, you know, filled with dust in the windows and having masks all the time and really feeling compassion to everybody and, you know, showing love to everybody and sharing flowers between friends and, you know, neighbors. And then also so many things also happened. The Sampong department store collapsed when we were living in that area, and I was almost 30 minutes before with my son. And that's also why I brought Korean used clothing to Japan in Nagoya City Museum when Hwalyu, the recurrent water or something, the Korean and Japanese show in the 90s. I had to comment that, so I brought Korean clothing and together with the Japanese clothing put together as a pile and put the bed covers on it. And when I had a trash show in Venice at the Palazzo Fortuny with the Axel boat, we decided, not only me, but also the Axel boat, to also wish very much to bring Japanese, used clothing from tsunami, victims. So we brought that clothes and made botaris with that, and I titled as Botari Island. So I've been. But it seems really like an endless destruction and war in this world. We cannot even rest 1 year without having this war or any destruction. So maybe it's the humanity that has a fundamental certain kind of lack of wisdom. But at the same time, we still have to make effort and also to caress each other, to understand each other, to bring peace and harmony together. Avoid any kind of hatred and conflicts in this world. So. I'm with you. We should be always conscious about it, and this mindfulness will bring something positive, although it's not visible. It's in the air. It's in this room, maybe, so that we can live a better life and hand over better world condition and. Life condition for the future generation.
I think what you had been dealing with, this starting from Korean traditional color system, the obansek, is something. There is a very important hint for the harmony, I think, because this obansek idea, or 5 elements of the universe in Buddhism and in other Asian philosophy, is not one is stronger than the other. Like everyone is winning and the other, but always weaker than the other.
Yes.
So it's really talking about harmony.
Harmonial relationship.
Yeah, and it's a horizontal relationship.
Yes.
It's not hierarchical.
Exactly.
And then also Taoism, yin and yang, is also always mutating. So it's not black and white 50-50. It's always sort of mutating, transforming, but still try to have a balance.
Right.
And there is only 1 second that you think that there is a balance, but then always disappear. So you always need to seek for the moment of the balance. And when I experienced one of the John Cage's, the opera piece of all the different singers and players come together on a stage, and that they do everything they do individually. There seems to be, there's no harmony. But when you listen to it half an hour, there was a moment, maybe that was the harmony. And maybe that was the moment that every sound came together. So I think the way that how all the different diverse identity or history has to live together. Right. I think what you brought with the idea of Obansek and also your thunderstorm as a needle, and also your inspiration from John Cage has a lot to say, and I think it's full of ideas for the future.
Thank you. Thank you so
I'm really
much.
Looking forward your further development of what you do, and Yeah, at the Laureate Museum, we just opened Louise Bourgeois exhibition, who lived until 98. And her explosion after 80s is just amazing in her work in 80s and 90s. It was so touching. And she also uses fabric and also a lot of mending and connecting together to make some kind of invisible energy, memory, trauma, everything into form. So you have so much to go.
Right.
So I'm just looking forward to your further achievement to the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。それではキムスージャ先生、片岡先生、ご講談ください。
ありがとうございました。